Aubrey wakes up on Tuesday, the 2nd of spring, and heads straight to the TV to see what her luck is today. And it appears that she will have some extra luck today. So, having heard a few rumors about a particular mine, she decides to head off to the mine to kill monsters. Advertisement she gets in the mail. I keep finding cool stuff, but my backpack is full. Does this sound like you? Well, Pierre's got you covered. Stop by Pierre's General Store today and check out our affordable size 24 backpack. See you soon, it says. I also get another letter. Aubrey gets another letter. Hello there. Just got back from a fishing trip. You should come down to the beach sometime. I've got something for you. Willie. Okay, Willie. Apparently, Aubrey begins, I have to go do 2 things today, but actually, she goes on, I don't want to go and talk to Willie today because I already know that the spirits are happy. Oh shit! She cuts off. I forgot to put away all of my junk. I can't go adventuring with all of this junk cluttering my inventory. So therefore, it is time to cut down every tree in the forest with my axe and build a chest to hold some of this junk. Great. Aubrey goes off onto the what side is this? Is this west? She goes off to the western edge of her farm. It's actually not really a farm. It's more like a half-forested wilderness at this point. But anyway, she goes over in that direction and starts chopping down every tree in the forest, hoping that eventually she will have enough wood to build some sort of container for all of her items. And she just wails away on these trees and the stumps that they leave behind, and finds herself saddened because she cannot pick up whatever this is. She decides to drop a wild horseradish on the ground. Turns out there was 12 saps on the ground that fell off of that tree, and she really wanted those saps, so she threw she threw whatever the fuck that was on the ground and decided that she wanted the sap instead. Perfect. She then built a chest just in her hands. She didn't need any tools or like a bench or anything. Just in her hands, she was like throwing pieces of wood up into the air and then like assembling them without any nails or tools of any kind in the air while juggling the sticks. It was pretty amazing, actually. And then she just, while juggling all of her items, just threw every single one into the chest that she had just made, painstakingly walking back to pick up the horseradish that she threw on the ground. That's what it was. It was a horseradish. A wild horseradish. Perfect. So, finally, at long last, Aubrey had put away all of her items and was now on her way to the cave system, the mine system, because Aubrey really wanted to test her luck in the caves and kill as many enemies as she possibly could. And she was very excited to get on with that. So she passed right by Pierre's General Store without a second look. She did not even look to see if there were people inside. She had heard that there was a pale girl with purple hair who lived in that area, and she didn't even think to look inside Pierre's to see who it was, though she did catch a glimpse of Robin and decided to go and talk to her. Have you met everyone in town yet? That sounds exhausting, says Robin. Why, yes. Yes, it is, Robin. I'm glad that that's all you had to say. Let's continue on, says Aubrey to herself as she passes by a white butterfly. Oh shit, who's that? Aubrey notices a strange vagabond-esque like man wearing a yellow tunic. In fact, it actually kind of looks like the kind of thing that you would expect a caveman to wear. It looks a little bit like a hide, like a tiger skin or something. And she's very concerned. She's not really sure who it is. However, after a few moments, she musters up the courage and walks right up to the guy and talks to him. "A stranger? Hello," he says. "Don't mind me. I just live out here alone," says Linus. And he stands there and turns 180 degrees in order to face the river, and he just stares out into the river. "Oh, shit! There's some people here, and a rock. Here, let me help you." "Is this helping?" She begins. "Hey, who are you? I need to get into that mine. Why don't you let me help you break down these rocks?" she calls. There's no response. How sad. "Well," Aubrey begins, "it's apparently not in the stars for me to go and explore the caves today. So, therefore, I will not do that." "Fine. What was..." "That's right. I needed to talk to Willie," she continues. So she turned toward the southern tip of the town and headed off toward the ocean because she really wanted to talk to Willie, because he has something for me, she thinks. Willie, the person on the coast, has something for me. Let's go. She passes over a bridge. It's a beautiful day, and she enters a cutscene. "Ahoy there, miss," says Willie. "Heard there was a newcomer in town. Good to finally meet you," he says. He turns around, realizing his manners. I'm still trying to unwind from a month out on the salty seas. It was a big haul. I sold a lot of good fish. Finally saved enough to buy me a new rod." He walks a bit closer. He looks into my eyes. He looks into Aubrey's eyes. "Here, I want you to have my old fishing rod. It's important to me that the art of fishing stays alive. And hey, maybe you'll buy something from the shop once in a while." "Okay, Willie. So you're giving me a fishing rod. And you're hoping that now that you've done this, I will shop at your store." Okie doke. "There's good water here in the valley. All kinds of fish," continues. "Oh yeah, my shop's back open now, so come by if you need supplies. I'll also buy anything you catch. If it smells, it sells. That's what my old pappy used to say, anyway." Aubrey looks out over the ocean, and Willie begins to smoke his pipe once again, rocking silently back and forth while he fills his lungs with poisonous tobacco smoke. Beautiful. She goes into the shop and speaks to Willie as though they had not just had a conversation a moment ago. And it looks like he has a bamboo pole and trout soup, which I do not need, said Aubrey. "Oh! Look! There are some, worm-like creatures poking out of the soil," she says. "They were displaced by some object deep underneath, which turned out to be just some clay." Fine. She picks up a clam, and an oyster, and another clam, and another clam. So many clams. In fact, that clam is particularly shiny. And then, realizing what she was doing, she snapped out of her little looting craze and turned around and went straight back up to where she came from. "Why was I picking up all those clams?" she wondered. "And who's this guy?" "Hey, I'm Sam. Good to meet you," he says. And he says nothing more, though he does sort of spin around on his feet and stare at Aubrey as she walks away. He's a bit too shy to say anything, it seems. Perfect, that's fine. Aubrey heads back toward her farm and decides to see if she can find Leah, who she ran into before. Leah? She calls. Leah? Hello? Hey! She finds Leah. Hello, neighbor, she says. We both live outside of town. Does that mean something? She wonders. Aubrey is a little bit taken aback by that comment. She wasn't expecting to hear such a friendly comment from someone whose pastime is to wander around outside of town, not interacting with humans. But she's happy to receive this attention nonetheless. Whoops, she accidentally pulls a clam right out of her pocket. Trying to reach for her axe, she just reaches into the wrong pocket altogether and pulls out a clam instead. And she looks down at the clam, thinking, why the fuck was I trying to use this clam to break a piece of wood? And she's a little bit angry at herself for even allowing this to happen. But having reached an impasse, she decides to go and see what Leah is doing. Oh, she thinks. It appears that Leah is painting or drawing. That's awesome. I didn't know Leah was an artist, she thinks. Here, she seems like a naturey person. Have a wild horseradish. This is a really nice gift, thank you, she says. And she goes straight back to painting the lake, the pond. Apparently, she really likes to accept gifts from people and then go straight back to what she was doing before. So we'll just let her do that. So, thinks Aubrey to herself. So, what now? She continues. It's time for me to go back home and maybe do a little bit of tidying up around here because this place is just an absolute mess. She continues. Look at all these rocks. Look at all these weeds. All these are going to have to go, she says. Now that she's reached her own property, she's no longer worried about people overhearing her talking to herself, so she just talks out loud to herself with no concern, not a care in the world, just talking out loud to herself like a crazy person. And she loves it. She loves talking out loud to herself. So she just does it all the time. She finds a strange staircase leading up to an elevated part of her farm, which seems to be kind of isolated. She thinks, what should I plant here? Something that requires its own dedicated land area. Something that should be isolated. Perhaps trees? Maybe I could put like a cherry orchard up there? That would be nice, she goes on. Yes. A cherry orchard. Perfect. She puts away all of her items, but pulls out these clams and decides that it's time to sell these clams. So she puts the clams into the box, and she's got a bit of a plan because she's still a little bit uncertain, a little bit worried because of what Lewis said, because Lewis said that he would come by here around Aubrey's house in the middle of the night and collect all of the items that she had put in this box, and then he was planning to sell them and give Aubrey back the money. And this is very strange behavior. This is borderline insane behavior. Aubrey is a little bit worried that maybe Lewis is senile, so what she's going to do is she's going to just sit in the doorway of her cottage and peer out across the the planks across the side of her house and watch what Lewis does as he comes in and takes the items from the box, because she's very worried. She's very concerned. Of all the things that she's seen here in Stardew Valley, that is by far the most concerning. So, she decides to go to bed and listen for noises coming from outside, at which point she will go and stare around the side of the house and see what she sees. So, she goes to sleep for the night. She dreams about foraging. She has a little bit of a vision quest. She understands how to use her axe a little bit better. That's fucking awesome. It's like, it's like when you're working on a hard problem and then you have a dream about that problem and you realize that it was much simpler than you thought it was. That's what's happening here. Aubrey is dreaming about chopping down trees with her axe, and she realizes that sometimes they drop seeds. And she had been completely ignoring the fact that they were dropping seeds before, and now, finally, she will be aware enough, she will be aware of her surroundings to pick up the seeds as they fall. Fantastic. She sleeps all the way through the night, and wakes up the next morning, having heard a very strange noise, but having not heard the sounds of Lewis picking through her sail box outside. And she's a little worried. Just a little worried. Okay, she turns on the TV and looks at the fortune teller. Luck will not be on her side, she concludes. She goes outside, it's the pouring rain, and holy shit, it is just so miserable outside. Oh my god. However, she does realize, luckily, that this is perfect weather for planting crops. So that's exactly what she's going to do. She pulls out her 15 parsnip seeds, which she received as a gift, and also the mixed seeds. And her plan now is to create a bit of a plot of a farm for herself. Where will she put this plot? She's not really sure. Oops, she doesn't need the watering can, though she does want the wood. And she heads over to the western side of her house, where there is a bit of a clearing. And she thinks, yeah, this is a good place. Let's just clear out these rocks. And also these bushes. And this tiny tree that's trying to grow on my property. Hippity hoppity, get off my property, Aubrey says out loud. After all, nobody's here, nobody's watching, and nobody can judge her for doing her best frog impersonation. After all, that's what frogs say. Frogs say, hippity hoppity, get off my goddamn farm. And so she picks up the scythe out of the box and vows that no living beings will continue to live in this area as long as she is alive. So she runs through with her scythe and just cuts down literally every plant in the entire area. And then she pulls out her axe, remembering her dream from last night. Holy shit, that was a weird dream, she goes on. Let's just use the things that I learned in my dream to cut down this tree a little bit faster. She sees, finally, oh, of course, that's what seeds look like. Trees drop pine cones. I had been ignoring those before, she says. And she nabs the pine cone. She just picks it right up off the ground. She sort of slips a little bit because the ground is wet with the rain. But she doesn't fall because she is super agile, like a cat. She chops down yet another tree, which drops a whole lot of this exact same stuff. And so now, it's just one more tree that she needs to cut down. Will she succeed? Will she cut down the tree? Yes. There it goes. The tree has been cut down. The tree is dead. No plants on my property, she says, slicing away a couple of weeds. Perfect. Oh, there goes another chameleon. It seems to have vanished. Oh, yes, of course. They're definitely chameleons, she concludes, because they seem to vanish into thin air. And only chameleons do things like that. that chameleon was just blending into its surroundings, and now it has completely blended in with its surroundings. Okay, perfect. So, parsnips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aubrey plans to have... Whoops. Whoops, what? Aubrey plans to have 3 rows of 5 parsnips, growing all in a row. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Now, she decides that she wants to separate mixed seeds from the parsnips. So she plants the mixed seeds on the ground, a good distance away from the parsnips so that it will be easy to identify them. Then she decides, alright, we're almost done. We just need to make some wooden fences to enclose this this farm area so that strange animals don't get in and fuck up my crops. She puts down a fence around her farm, like so. She realizes that this is probably not an ideal shape for a farm fence, but she does it anyway because YOLO, basically. She puts down a gate on one side and also a gate on the other side. The fuck? There we go. She puts down a gate on the other side as well. Perfect! A nice little fenced-off plot where the parsnips and the mixed seeds can grow happily without any disturbances. Perfect! She closes the doors and leaves. Grow my parsnips. I am very happy. She continues. And then she puts away all of the junk that she found. Excellent. Is there anything else that she could plant? She wonders. She looks into her chest, looks into her heart, realizes that she has yet another wild horseradish, and decides maybe it would be a good plan to go and give this horseradish to Leah. Maybe if I give her enough horseradishes, Ari begins, then Leah will paint a portrait of the horseradish, or maybe a portrait of me. That would be pretty awesome, she concludes. And then she promptly gets stuck on a pile of junk and is unable to navigate to the southern tip of the farm because this is just madness. There's no order here at all, and she is completely stuck. Fine. She finally exits the farm and moves towards where she thinks Leah should be, which is just somewhere in the general area of her house, or slightly to the southwest. So she goes on a little bit of a hunt for Leah. She looks around. She looks in the area where the pond is, hoping maybe to find Leah there. Leah? Are you here painting in the rain? No? Yes? Do you like the rain? Do you come outside in the rain, Leah? She wonders to herself as she picks up a dandelion. I do not see Leah, she says. In her own mind, she doesn't say that out loud. She only says things out loud when she is reasonably certain that no one will hear her. But she's sort of half expecting to find Leah in these areas, so she's not quite at the point where she's going to say things out loud. So she's just sort of muttering to herself. Aubrey's just here sort of muttering to herself. And her eyes are sort of darting back and forth looking for Leah. She sort of ventures off into the town area, looking for people. Hey! a blue-haired Emily. Ooh, I can read it on your face. You're going to love it here in Pelican Town, she says. If you're ever looking for something to do in the evening, stop by the saloon. That's where I work, says Emily. Fantastic. I will certainly do that. Emily. Ooh. Aubrey notices a help wanted poster on on Pierre's shop. Though Willie seems to want some quartz under his pillow for some reason. Probably for some sort of demonic ritual. Because who the fuck wants quartz under their pillow? She wonders. That's just very strange behavior. Hey! Hey! Red-headed girl, Penny. Hello. Here, take this dandelion. The fuck? No, I haven't. Penny says, "Thank you, this looks special." With a bit of a smile on her face. "The raindrops are really loud on the metal roof of our trailer," she goes on. "It's soothing, though." "Does it make it difficult to read, Penny? You seem like the type of person who would read a lot, and then the sounds of the raindrops on the trailer would be really annoying. They would sort of be distracting, and you wouldn't be able to get any reading done. No? Maybe?" Aubrey decides to look for Leah in one final location, which is in the saloon. Where is the saloon? It's up here. She goes into the saloon. Ah, Leah is here. Fuck yeah. "This morning I accidentally stepped on a bug," she says, looking a bit sad. "Oh, Leah, I'm sorry that you stepped on a bug. I'm sure that the bugs, the Lord of the Bugs, the bug spirits, forgive you. Here, have this horseradish." "This is a really nice gift. Thank you," she says. "You're welcome. Now, do I have anything else useful? Let's see if Emily likes dandelions. Do you like dandelions, Emily?" "Thanks," she says. That seemed like a bit of a neutral response, Aubrey thinks to herself. I'm not sure if she actually liked that. Hey! Aubrey walks to the side, on the eastern side of the tavern, and finds Abigail. "Oh, that's right. I heard someone new was moving onto that old farm," she says. "Hello?" "It's kind of a shame, really. I always enjoyed exploring those overgrown fields by myself." When Aubrey hears this, she's hit with a sudden realization. Wait a second, she thinks. Abigail, this pale purple-haired woman, has been on my property before I was even there? What kinds of things have you been doing on my property, Abigail? What have you done on my property? What? Do you have like a stash? Do you have like a secret hiding place where you put all of your various things that you don't want your parents to find? Abigail? By the way, Abigail, what do you like for presents? Do you like coal? I'll give you coal. No? Okay. Oh, I can actually buy Joja Cola, she thinks. Okay, note to self. Wednesday evenings, Abigail in the saloon. Aubrey thinks. Oh hey, it's Harvey. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Harvey, the local doctor. I perform regular checkups and medical procedures for all the residents of Pelican Town. It's rewarding work. I hope you'll find your own work equally rewarding in time, he says, with a bit of a smile on his face. I need a little warm-me-up to be ready for another cold night on the ocean, says Willie. And then Aubrey talks to Willie again, and he says exactly the same thing. Wait a second, she thinks. She stops dead in her tracks. Wait a second. She talks to Willie again. He says exactly the same thing. I've seen this before, she thinks. She runs up around the bar, talks to Gus, Hey there, Aubrey. I'm glad to see you. You're always welcome here, he says. She talks to him again. He says exactly the same thing. What's going on? Why are they doing this? Who are these people? Why do they always say the exact same thing? She talks to Pam. Sigh. Hey kid, you're too young to be moping around in a place like this, she says. The virus has infected Pam. Aubrey runs. She sees a new person coming inside of the saloon. Hi, I'm Clint, he says. I'm the town blacksmith. If you ever need to upgrade your tools, I'm your guy, he says. Fine. Okay, Clint. Have it your way. If I ever need to upgrade my tools, I will go and talk to you. Fuck yes. Okay, where are all these other people? She wonders. I have like a dossier of people. She goes on. And I haven't met like any of them. She looks through her mental notebook, mentally looking around, wondering who these people are and where to find them. She concludes that not having met any of these people, she could not possibly know that they're around or that they need to be met. So she concludes nothing. And then realizing that it is 9 p.m. nearly, and raining and dark and cold, she decides to head straight back home, though she does get a little bit sidetracked and distracted as she reaches down and picks up not one, not two, not three, but 4 dandelions and also a daffodil. All these flowers, all these villagers. Aubrey begins to formulate a plan in her mind. A plan for winning over all of the people who like flowers. She decides to hold on to the flowers and then plant them into people's hands on their birthdays. Excellent. She then plants the mixed seeds that she found. She doesn't even remember where she found the mixed seeds, but she plants them anyway, with a gleeful smile on her face. Excellent. And then she goes back into her house and goes to sleep for the night.